Hey guys, I'm Nina Zeta with Sidewalker Daily, and in today's video, I want to go over some Instagram planning tips, especially when you're planning out your content, kind of walk you through what I do when I speak to my clients on one-on-one coaching sessions. I want to kind of walk you through what a strategy session kind of looks like so that if you are planning your content on Instagram, you can kind of get a look into how I kind of run my calls if you're not ready yet to invest in one. So the first thing I do on one of my business strategy calls, whether it be with a brand client that I am hired to oversee their social strategy or influencer marketing campaigns, whether it's them or it's like a creator client or an influencer, I really start off by asking about the goals. Like, what are your goals for your use on Instagram? I feel like nowadays, we all have to be on Instagram. I feel like there's this energy, right? That it's almost like a business storefront. Like you just have to have a page. Now, some pages are more active than others. Some of them are just a little bit more of a shell just to show future prospects or clients or whatever, like, hey, I have a page. And for some of us, some of the creators I work with, it's their life. They are literally on the platform all day long, right? So this video is gonna help you kind of figure out your content plan, figure out like systems to set in place to get you organized. But the first place you really need to start at is what are your goals with the page? I think a lot of creators tend to just kind of post what they feel like doing and they don't really think, well, what are my long-term goals? When you are a creator that's trying to do this full-time or not even full-time, but like more professionally, start working with brands, start getting paid, using your Instagram as a way to monetize, then you're gonna go through a transition. You're gonna go through a difference of when you're just kind of like, this is for fun, this is a hobby, I'm posting photos of what I do, and then like, okay, this is actually a business and I need to take it more seriously and put a little bit more thought and intention in what I produce. I'm gonna give you guys some common goals, but mostly for my creators, like I'll hear people come into the door and they're like, okay, growth, right? Growth is obviously a very common goal for people on Instagram. They wanna grow, they wanna grow, they wanna grow. So when you think about growth, then, you know, what are we gonna do to really help make that a reality, right? What's the work that we're gonna put in to grow these channels? Now, I know most of you have heard on and on us go about like Instagram Reels, and that's mostly because the Reels algorithm is so friendly and so helpful in helping new people discover your content, right? So like I said, if growth is one of the goals, then we're gonna come up with a plan that kind of helps you grow. For some of my creators, you know, they don't come to me and they're not worried about growth. They know what they need to do to actively grow, but they'll say, okay, I want to partner with brands. Like I want to start making money. If you know your goal is to work with brands and that's really what you're set on, then you know the type of content you need to make needs to be what the prospective brand client would want to see, right? So it's creating content with that in mind. So for example, if you're a food influencer or a food content creator and you're dying to partner with, you know, an appliance company, then it's creating content that that appliance company would want to be a part of, right? Like, how do you showcase product? How do you story tell? How can a brand get integrated into your content, right? So those are things to think about. That's a common goal for a lot of my creator clients. They come to me and they're like, we want, you know, we want to partner with brands. Same thing for my brand clients. They'll say sales. We really want to start making more sales off our Instagram. And with brands, it's a little trickier because you think to yourself, like, who wants to follow, you know, a shoe brand or, you know, a hotel? Well, and then we dive into who that customer is, who follows these type of accounts. How do we, you know, serve them the value that they need? So once my clients and we figure out like the goals so that we can content plan, then I strongly urge an audit, right? So an audit, an Instagram audit, this is where I kind of tell the creator, again, based on their goals, or the brand based on their goals, we'll just go through the account and kind of give them a bird's eye vision of like what someone else sees, right? And does that match their goals? Is their page aesthetic, bio, does it match what they're trying to do and achieve? And this is when we get really intense and we kind of like analyze the page and give really constructive feedback so that you guys can go and make those adjustments directly and make those changes. And the reason I say make those changes is because it's like, this is the cleanup house section. This is when, before we can even create content, come up with calendars and all that sort of thing, we need to clean up the existing, you know, things that are there that may not like work towards your goals and that could actually be hurting you. So want to make sure that that portion is always done very early on in the project. Now, once we have gone and done an audit, this is when it gets fun because we can start topic generating and start looking at, okay, what's the content that's coming out this month? Are there any special events? Are there any special holidays coming up this month? What is the client working on? Maybe I'll work with a travel blogger and she's like, oh, I have this trip coming up. So we like start to think, okay, what's the type of content that we can either pre-plan or get really organized in? Like I said, is there a specific holiday coming up that makes sense with that creator's niche that she wants to shoot content for in advance or that he wants to do? So again, this part was the fun part because we can start planning and then really start creating. One thing that I love, and I always advise my clients if they can, is like just batch creating, or at least batch idea generating, right? If you know the 12 things that you want to post about, this month, or the topics that you want to go after, the value that you want to add, if you know these sort of things, this is going to make your life a lot easier because then you can either get to the studio or go shoot or shoot from home or whatever your systems are to actually make that content come to life. And what's amazing is now that you know your goals, which was step one, you can now create content with intention, with purpose. It can be very, very clear. So for example, if I have a family blogger or a family TikToker or a family Instagrammer, and they're going to start creating content because one of their main goals is maybe to launch, a kids coloring book, right? Or create their own product. And this creator knows like she's going to be creating stuff to sell something of her own one day. Then what type of content do we want to do to either pre-launch it or to get that type of audience excited about joining? It wouldn't make sense for this creator to like post her and her dogs, or maybe even a food recipe or something like that, right? This is assuming that you guys all have your niche under control and that's very, very clear, so that you can create very, very clear content that again will help you reach the goals that you set out in the beginning. When we talked in the very beginning about goals, sometimes, like I said, creators are like into growth and they're really trying to grow. So it's like, okay, well then I need to create shareable content, right? Content that is going to help me grow this month. Or maybe I need to schedule some IG lives with other creators so that I can use their audience and they can use mine and we can grow together. Or is that putting a giveaway this month? So again, it gives you the foresight to kind of say, okay, I want to grow. So what is the content that I need to make this month to help me get there? Now, once you are able to do this and kind of decide the content topics and actually start batching, you're going to be able to start piecemealing your calendar together. Now, everyone has a different system of doing this. Some people like to actually calendar it out and they'll use a planning tool, like a Planoly or a scheduler of some sort. Some people use Google Sheets. It's all about finding a system that works for you. I don't think posting day to day is helpful. That's just a personal preference for us. We like to batch and kind of know what's happening at least 2 weeks out. For my brand clients, we know what we're posting a whole month out, and we leave spaces for like if things pop up. But I really think that it's important to kind of like batch and like schedule, or at least get organized so that you're not like every day wondering, okay, what do I post today, right? That's what this video is meant to help you not do. It's meant to help you identify your goals, clean up your shop, create content that's already like with purpose so that you can get in a system to post in advance, not on the day-to-day. Now, before I give you my last tip, which is super important because it's going to tie it all together and help you hit the repeat button. If you guys are interested, we offer business strategy sessions, which are 4-hour blocks where we work with brands or creators on their planning of their content and anything that else you want to talk about, right? So what's really helpful, this is kind of the process that we go through, and we help our clients on calls, can break them up into 30-minute calls and get like that one-on-one help and answer those questions live so you can get your content up and running and just working for you instead of feeling super overwhelmed. So if you're interested in that, I will leave a link below so that you can book either myself or someone on our team and we can help you get started. Now, my last tip, and this is one of my favorites, is once the content has started performing and you're posting and you're finding a rhythm, this is where you want to look at your insights. This is going to help you decide the content that you're going to use for the next month, right? So when we talk about planning, we're talking about like monthly planning. So if you're able to analyze your content and see how it's performing. Like, let's just say you did a reel and it did really, really well, or you did a carousel post and it got tons of shares or saves. This gives you clues of the type of content you want to make more of, right? So that you can then repeat the process. Go in, are your goals the same? Identify them, maybe tweak them. And this is a really helpful way to kind of see what you should be doing more of. A big part of being a creator is testing, testing, testing. So your calendar and your content plan should not be this fixed, rigid thing that you don't have flexibility in. You want to be able to like pause, take a look, see what works, and repeat. Now, a big question I always get is, Nina, how many times a week should I post? I get this all the time, right? And to be honest, like, this is something that you would need that one-on-one feedback with, because everyone has different goals and different capacity, right? This is a very different capacity if you're a brand that has tons of people working for you, or if you're just one creator doing it all on your own, right? It always comes down to capacity, budget. Are you able to hire someone to help you? All those sort of questions. So I never give like post this time a week or this number, because it really all, again, goes back to your goals and goes back to what you can and can't do. I don't want the creators to ever get burnout, to get stressed. Like, that is not my mission. So we want to figure out a content plan and system that works for you personally. Like I said, if you're interested in working with us, you can do so below. Anyways, guys, I hope today's video helped you, gave you some clarity, got you set up straight so that you're able to set up this system and post more regularly, and also alleviate yourself from the stress that comes with social media content planning. Remember, the first place to always start is your goals. Always clean up shop your audit, and then going from there. That's what's gonna really like kind of set you free. All right, guys, let me know what you think of today's video, and I will see you in the next one.